Michael Jackson's son is doing something that I didn't expect. And it's very interesting because it's going to draw a line between whose side of the story are you on and who has the best intentions for Michael Jackson and his estate. Let's go over this. This is something that I did not see coming. Michael Jackson's youngest son, Blanket, has petitioned a Los Angeles judge to stop his late father's estate from picking up his grandmother's legal tab. So grandmother is Katherine Jackson. She's the one, obviously, that raised Michael Jackson. That's Michael Jackson's mom. To them, it's their grandmother. Court documents obtained and published by Billboard on Tuesday, March 21st, reveal that Katherine Jackson is currently challenging John Branca and John McClain, co-executors of the late King Pop's estate, from moving forward with an unnamed transaction. The dispute, according to legal documents, is costing her a substantial amount in legal fees, which Blanket argues shouldn't be the financial responsibility of MJ's estate. So she is disputing that sale, whatever it is. And it might be the actual catalog. She doesn't want the catalog being sold to Sony. That's what it says, unnamed, but that's kind of what, that was one of the major sales, the $600 million catalog going to, I believe, half of it, 50% going to Sony. So continuing on, this is what the filing said. It is readily apparent that a reversal on appeal would be an extreme long shot. The documents filed on behalf of the 22-year-old reads. This is Blanket, by the way. Given those odds, BG decided not to waste his resources to participate in an appeal. Nonetheless, Katherine has decided to appeal this court's ruling. That decision is not for the benefit of the heirs. Heirs is or I don't know how to pronounce it. The heir to the throne, heirs. Basically, so the Jackson kids, Prince, Blanket, and Paris, initially stood with their grandmother against Branca and McClain's transaction. However, once the probate court greenlit the two, all three children accepted the decision. While the dispute deal itself is not explicitly named in legal documents, it appears to be the Jackson's estate estimated $600 million deal to sell part of the singer's catalog to Sony, the outlet reports. So, it's unnamed, but that's the major recent deal that went. So this is an interesting twist to the story of Sony's catalog. Sony buying Michael Jackson's catalog. We reported on that a couple weeks ago, but this basically Blanket is saying, hey, in the court it's already a rule that's going to be sold. The chances of us beating that is so slim that why is Katherine fighting this? Why is she disputing this? But Katherine, the mother of Michael Jackson, is like, fuck no. I'm not selling it to something that Michael didn't like. Like, we're not going to sell the catalog to Sony. Doesn't matter what amount. Like I said, at the time when we were reporting on it, Michael was making like $70 million a year off the music right now. So it's like, you don't need that $600 million. $70 million a year, you can live off $70 million a year. Trust me. There's people that live off $30,000 a year. Especially at that lifestyle, you can live off $70 million a year. Especially 3 kids. They split that among 3. What is that? I'm horrible at math. That's $20 million each, $23 million or something like each, $23.3 million each, which is a lot of fucking money, man. At those ages, $23 million a year, poof, easy peasy, man. I'm traveling the world. I'm loving life, everything. So Blanket is saying, hey, we're not going to cover her legal fees in disputing this. Whatever it's going to cost her to go up against this, we're not going to cover that through the state's money. Which is also, it's like, hey, your grandmother's fighting this for a specific reason. She knows her son more. She knows Michael Jackson more than the kids do. That's just the reality situation. She raised him. She was with him up until he was 50 years old and died. The kids grew up with him. What was the oldest? The oldest was, I don't even know how old. She was like 12, 14 maybe. I don't even know when Michael Jackson died. So they weren't with Michael Jackson that long. She knows her son way more. She knows her son wouldn't do this Sony deal at all. She knows he hated Sony, got into lots of legal battles with them. So why sell the catalog to that company? If you're going to sell the catalog, at least sell it to some other company. There's millions of companies out there that would buy Michael Jackson's catalog. But it looks like it's driving a wedge in between the kids and the grandmother. The grandmother, she's still, how old is How old is Michael Jackson's mother, man? Katherine Jackson, because that's probably the last hope we got in terms of Michael Jackson's estate. 93. So, it's gonna be, I'm not trying to wish this into existence, but once she's kind of, sad to say, once she passes away, it's like the kids have kind of control of this, and I don't think they're gonna respect. It seems like they're not really respecting Michael Jackson's wishes when he was alive, man. People need to step in more. But I mean, it's a $2 billion statement. It's worth so much money that at that level, there's so many people that get in between. These lawyers try to split people apart, and there's a bunch of middlemen that try to get into people's ears and ruin things. So this whole thing is going to be interesting to watch and see how it plays out if that deal actually goes through completely. But yeah, this is an interesting twist to the story, man. We'll keep our eye out and see. I'm with Katherine Jackson, obviously. I never agree with. I just don't think it was smart to sell the catalog. That catalog can feed generations upon generations. That's why Sony wants to buy it. That's why they're coughing up $600 million. You think they would cough up $600 million for something that wasn't going to make them back that money? They're going to make that money back, and what if it's $70 million a year that they're making? I think 50% of the catalog is $35 million. They're going to make that shit back in what? How many years? Let's do the math. Let's just say they're making $35 million a year off the catalog, off that 50% of the catalog. Just say $35 million. By the way, it's going to expand as the years go on. They broke it down about they're going to have theatrical shows, and the Michael Jackson movie that's coming out is going to be something that's going to make it big again. So let's say 35 times 10. So in 10 years, they would make $350 million. 35 times 20, $700 million. So in about, let's just say they buy it for $600 million. I'm just throwing random numbers out here because it could be more that they're making. Let's just say they buy it for $600 million. They make $35 million a year off it. In about 20 years, they'll make back the money they got. And then from there, from the rest on, they'll just keep stacking $35 million, $35 million, $35. So, and there's going to be fluctuations where they're going to make $35 million. There's going to be years where they make 70. There's going to be years where they make 100. And I'm talking about 50%. I'm not talking about the full, 100%. But that's why they're buying it, man. They know the value of catalogs. Catalogs is something that you should try to keep as much as you can, because selling it would be one of the dumbest things that you can do. I have a catalog with all the documentaries I make, and there's been companies that have offered to buy it, but it's not like a full thing. It's like a 5-year deal where they'll give me upfront money, but they'll make this on the back end. And, it's tempting, man, because they'll offer some great fucking money that I'm like, shit, what I would do with that money right now, I can make 20 of those Give It Your Die Trying documentaries, no problem. But I'm like, the catalog, there's a lot of things that go into it, or just like, I don't know if I should or not. But we'll see, that's something on my end that I'll look into. But yeah, this is going to be interesting, man. So we'll keep our eye out and see what happens moving forward.